Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Vice President Kamala Harris will be closing out the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, trying to turn the joy and excitement of the week into actual votes in November. Our national correspondent Michael Yoshida is in Chicago with highlights from Wednesday and a look ahead to what we can expect from Thursday.
Star power on full display during night 3 of the Democratic National Convention. Oprah Winfrey delivering a powerful endorsement of Kamala Harris.
So I'm calling on all you independents and all you undecideds. Decency and respect are on the ballot in 2024.
Legends of R&B and soul bringing those in the United Center to their feet. Former President Bill Clinton taking the stage too. The 42nd president, now an elder statesman in the Democratic Party, making the choice between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris clear in a way only he can.
Kamala Harris for the people. The other guy who's proved even more than the first go-around that he's about me, myself, and I.
The night concluding with Minnesota Governor and Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz introducing himself to a national audience.
That family down the road, they may not think like you do. They may not pray like you do. They may not love like you do, but they're your neighbors. And you look out for them, and they look out for you.
Thursday night, the spotlight will fall squarely on Vice President Kamala Harris. After completely transforming and upending the 2024 campaign, she seeks to rise to the moment and show the American people she has what it takes to be commander-in-chief. In Chicago, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Meanwhile, Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance made his way to Nebraska Wednesday. He was in Omaha for a fundraiser hosted by U.S. Senator Pete Ricketts and his family. Vance's plane arrived in Omaha Wednesday evening after a campaign stop in North Carolina. His visit to Nebraska's potentially crucial 2nd Congressional District comes days after his counterpart and vice presidential nominee on the Democratic side, Tim Walz, made a campaign stop in La Vista.
My entire criticism of the Democratic approach here is they're focused on fake issues instead of the real record. I just wish, I would love for Tim Walz or Kamala Harris or anybody else to say that during the 3.5 years that Kamala Harris was vice president, here is the thing that she did to make groceries more affordable. Here is the thing that she did to make it possible to raise a family in this country. Or here's the thing that she did to secure rather than open up the border.
Nebraska's 2nd District could prove pivotal in this fall's election. Over the past 4 elections, the district's 1 electoral vote has gone to Democrats twice and Republicans twice. Governor Jim Pillen celebrating the University of Nebraska's decision to end an office he helped create 6 years ago. UNL decided this week to close its Office of Diversity and Inclusion and eliminate the vice chancellor position that directed its efforts. That drew mixed reactions throughout the state on Wednesday. Among the most vocal in their support for the move was Governor Pillen, who said in a statement, quote, "The office should never have been established in the first place," end quote. That appears to be a sharp rebuke against himself. Pillen was among the members of the Board of Regents who voted yes to create the office in the first place back in 2018. The move by Chancellor Rodney Bennett drew criticism Wednesday from other organizations like the ACLU of Nebraska and Out Nebraska. Canada's 2 main railway companies shut down early Thursday morning. The stoppage the first time both Canadian National Railway and Canadian Pacific Kansas City have had a work stoppage at the same time due to a labor dispute, the Teamsters Union asking for better pay, better benefits, and better crew scheduling. This work stoppage could deal a major blow to both the U.S. and Canadian economies and also impact both passenger train traffic and commercial train traffic, depending on how long it lasts. City officials in Grand Island working on the next steps to formally implement their Good Life District Economic Development Program. This after the results of last week's special election have been certified. The unofficial results last week showed residents voted for the creation of the program by an almost 2-to-1 margin. There were an additional 8 votes counted this week. 5 of the new votes in favor of the program, 3 were against. Now, the city says the council needs to bring a series of ordinances to future meetings to approve the program and create the tax ordinances to implement it. Once those are passed, the city then begins the process of considering future developments within the district. The city officials say public input will be taken into consideration.
We're going to make sure that there are opportunities for citizens to tell the City Council what their vision is. We have an initial vision that we need to meet. We have to bring in the tourism. We need to build that regional sports complex to do that. But how we do housing, how we do anything else, we really want to hear the public's input on that.
Good Life districts were authorized by the legislature last year. Starting October 1st, the state sales tax rate within the district will be cut in half, from 5.5% to 2.75%. What Grand Island voters approved was to replace that reduced rate with a local option city tax to fund public infrastructure in the Good Life district. School absenteeism, a rising issue affecting students and school districts all over the country, but one Nebraska school district says they're navigating those waters pretty well. Andrew Pfeiffer has more.
School absences are surging across the nation, creating a turbulent environment in education and a hurdle for many students to graduate. Yet Nebraska students appear to be faring better, particularly in Norfolk, according to the Director of Teaching and Learning, Jared Oswald.
We've been pretty fortunate in our district.
According to the Nebraska Department of Education, nationally about 15 to 20% of students are chronically absent. Compared to Nebraska, 11% of students reported some level of absenteeism, although not all cases are chronic.
Certainly a concern for us. We never want to take that lightly, but we haven't been hit as hard by that as other places in the nation have.
So what drives absenteeism for students in the first place? Well, a report from RealClearEducation.com expressed that cultural polarization is withholding students, as well as distrust in the school system from not only the COVID-19 pandemic, but school shootings.
One of the things that we talk a lot about is creating a welcoming and safe atmosphere for our students. And students who feel that they are safe and they are valued are going to be more likely to want to be at school.
But what can the administration do to help?
We want to have conversations with their families, want to have conversations with those students and see what we can do to support them so that they're seeing success both behaviorally, academically, so that they want to be in school with us.
While the reasons stem beyond just not wanting an education, Oswald believes that, like many public schools in Nebraska, Norfolk has the resources students need to get back in the classroom.
I would just encourage students to reach out because we're here to help. Reach out to our administrators, reach out to the counselors, and reach out to your teachers, and let's work together to get that student back into school and back into seeing some success.
Reporting in Norfolk, Andrew Pfeiffer, News Channel Nebraska.
The Chief Justice of Nebraska's Supreme Court is stepping down. Chief Justice Mike Heavican announcing Wednesday he's retiring at the end of October after 18 years of service. He made the decision official in a letter to Governor Jim Pillen this week. Heavican was appointed by former Governor Dave Heineman in 2006, a year after Heineman took over governorship from Mike Johans. The Judicial Nominating Commission will now take applications for the seat. The panel will then send Pillen a list of potential nominees to choose from. This will be Pillen's first appointment to the state Supreme Court. History Nebraska going back to its roots. The organization has announced plans to return to its original name, the Nebraska State Historical Society. The agency announced this week that beginning September 3rd, they'll return to their prior name, but will continue to utilize the brand colors, design, and marketing elements adopted when they became History Nebraska. The organization has been around a while, first established in 1878 by private citizens who had recognized the significant change going on in Nebraska and wanted to document the stories of its people. It became a state institution in 1883. The society operates the Nebraska History Museum in Lincoln, as well as historic sites across the state and more than 570 historical markers. And in sports, with all the hype building around Memorial Stadium for this football season, Don't forget, it was just a year ago that volleyball rocked the stadium on Volleyball Day in Nebraska. And one of the teams that took the court that day is hopeful this season provides as much excitement as last. Luke Stera has more from Wayne.
From the excitement of Volleyball Day in Lincoln to the Wildcats' thrilling journey to the NCAA Elite Eight, last season was nothing short of a dream for head coach Scott Kneifel and his team.
Coming off now back-to-back NSIC conference championships, an Elite Eight appearance where we feel we're 3 points away from a national championship.
But as the new season begins, Kneifel hopes that experience serves as a springboard for the new-look Wildcats. The Wildcats will have to replace 5 seniors from last year's team, including Wahoo product Kelsey Chada and 6-year setter Rachel Walker.
This group, even though we lost a lot off of last year's team, as far as ball control and leadership goes, we're excited about them.
Off of last year's 18-0 record in conference, the Wildcats are picked to repeat as conference champions according to preseason polls. With that recognition, there's added pressure for the Wildcats.
We're going to have to be ready to play every night, and we just need to keep getting better. You know, we have a lot of young kids in our gym that don't know what Northern Sun Volleyball is about.
A player who has that experience is 5th-year middle hitter Maggie Bramer, a 2-time first-team All-American.
I've seen a lot of girls run through the program, and I've seen a lot of athletic ability get used, and a lot of girls challenge themselves and get better every single day. And I think that's just what the culture is here.
That experience will be vital, according to Bramer, as the Wildcats go through the gauntlet of the NSIC, a conference who had 4 teams finish in the final top 25 poll last season.
But you're never going to get an off weekend. You are going to get somebody's best game every single weekend, top to bottom of the conference.
The Wildcats will look to defend their NSIC regular season title with a trip to Florida for a tournament before heading to the Colorado Premier Challenge in early September. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, this is Luke Stera.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com, click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.